Be vigilant and don't give away too much this holiday season. That's the advice from the South African Insurance Association. Many people will be crisscrossing the country to celebrate with their families or taking a short left by the seaside. It's that time of the year when criminal activities like hijackings, robberies and housebreaking especially are at their highest. Let's get some more safety tips now from the association's technical manager for insurance risks, Kabelo Paile, who joins us virtually from here in Johannesburg. Kabelo, thank you so much for your time this evening. You know, especially families who are preparing to go away, and especially when excitement is so high, it's the first time that many families will be able to spend a festive together in quite a few years because of the pandemic that we lived through. It probably will be easy for people to forget very important and rather technical things. Packing your bags and your putt course and making sure that your accommodation is sorted out or that Oma has enough beds prepared for everybody is one thing. But there's actually a lot of preparations you need to do at home before you lock it up and you drive away. We're going to split it up now in the conversation, but let's start with the brick and mortar, your home and your property. And your organization is suggesting that the first thing you should do is putting a call through to your insurance broker and make sure that you are covered for any eventuality for that period that you're going away. And I think if you look at what we've seen come out of the news, there are issues with load shedding, power cuts happening, as well as floods. There are some important questions that people need to ask of those insurance contracts that they may have signed a long time ago.
Yes, good afternoon, Marcel. It is very important at the moment for consumers to peruse their policy schedule to find out what are they insured for and to ensure that they are insured adequately. So at the moment, leading up from Black Friday all the way to festive seasons, there can be large purchases. And given the large purchases, it's important for consumers to understand that this needs to be factored in when looking at your sum insured for your contents and that your contents are insured for the right replacement value. Risk management, risk mitigation is very important. Consumers are urged to exercise duty of care. Duty of care, it just ensures that the consumers look after their asset, protect their assets, and ensure that, or try to reasonably ensure that there are no losses. So this can speak to maintenance if we're speaking brick and mortar. When was the last time that there was maintenance on property? If we see of recent times, there has been heavy rains. So maintenance of roofs and gutters is really important because these rains can continue right into the festive season when people are no longer at home, leading to possible water damage claims. In terms of the load shedding, as you speak, we've had load shedding, and it can be now prudent to have extra lighting around your property, be it solar lighting, have extra backup batteries for gate motors or alarm systems. This can also be assist in terms of lighting up the property and protecting it. And lastly, as you mentioned, with bags packed, it's also important that before you head on out for your holiday, switch off your geyser, switch off your non-essential electronics. This will help mitigate the probability of a power surge claim due to load shedding if your electronics are switched off, or worse, even a fire due to a power surge claim.
I see in your statement you also mentioned that where possible, do not leave your property unoccupied for more than 30 days. Why is that a tip from your organization?
That's correct. And that goes back to reading or understanding your insurance policy. So many insurance policies say that do not leave your household or your property unoccupied for over 30 days, and especially without informing your insurer. This just leaves your property at a much bigger risk. And especially when it's time for claiming, it's important for insureds to know approximately when did the claim occur, time, dates, and those sort of details. And if you have been away from your property for 3-4 months at a time, you have no idea what's going on at your property. If there is a claim that's taken place at your property, you are not in a position to mitigate that loss. if there is, for example, a break-in, you are in a position, if you're at home, or there you have advised your neighbor perhaps that you won't be around, and you are now advised that there has been a break-in, you'd be able to put in temporary measures to prevent any further damage or any further losses. Whereas this would not be the case if you are away from home for extended periods of time.
So a house or doggy sitter is not a nice to have. It could actually help you out if the worst potentially happens. You also speak about ensuring the safety of the things that you carry on your person, as well as the purchases that you make online. At this time of year, one can be a little bit trigger happy if you're lucky enough to get a bonus. But your organization is saying just take care about the browsers that you open, the platforms that you type your details into, and then as well, if you're on holiday in the coastal front, the bags that you're carrying with you and the goods that you carry on your person. These are all things that you're saying you need to be just a little bit more aware of at this time of year.
That's correct. In terms of your personal items, we call them your all-risk items that you are taking with you when you leave the house and you're going on holiday. It's just important to ensure that you are exercising duty of care by protecting them and taking care of these items. Obviously, where possible, take only what you need and not anything extra, because if something should happen, then you don't want to have lost everything at one go. And also in terms of cybersecurity, which is really important, everyone thinks it will never happen to me. But it is so easy to click on a browser that looks legit, but it has one or two words or letters that are slightly different from the original or the legit website. So with a lot of online shopping, it's just please be vigilant to avoid any sort of scams that are prevalent at this time of the year.
Now, speaking of online, and it's something that I don't think we think about or talk enough about, is that you are also advising people to avoid posting your holiday or your plans on social media, because of course criminals are everywhere and they're becoming more technologically savvy by the day. So if you're on your street group on Facebook or even WhatsApp, I suppose, or if you're on Instagram, don't be that frivolous or that open in saying, this is where I am right now. I left home 2 weeks ago, my house in Johannesburg, and now I'm in Durban and I'm only going to be back. Look at me having a wonderful time. You're saying that's quite a major no-no. Do you think enough of us think about that during these Instagram times that we live in?
I don't think that is top of mind, and that is why we have written that in the article, and just ensured that it now becomes top of mind, that you need to be it's security conscious, and advertising your whereabouts at all times, especially on social media, it can just let criminals know that your house is open, and that there will be no one there to protect your house. So if you are going to post pictures, rather wait until you're back from holiday before you post those pictures.
You're actually just a party pooper, Kabelo, because, I mean, how will the world know that you're having a good time unless it's posted immediately? Just before I let you go, I think that in the end what you're saying is keep it simple, person-to-person communication, your broker, and just finally be on good terms with your neighbors who perhaps are not going away, and let them be the people that know that you're going away, and just to keep a particular eye on what's happening across the wall.
Yes, that is quite important. That duty of care to say you're protecting your assets, whether it is your household or your vehicle when you're going away, and you've ensured that you've done all the checks and balances for your vehicle. Don't forget to have duty of care. When you do come back from your holidays, you would still like to have your assets in good quality at home where you left them. So just take care of that.
Okay, thank you so much for that very sober and much needed conversation ahead of the big days, as we often call it. That's the South African Insurance Association's technical manager for insurance risks, Kabelo Paile, joining us virtually there from Johannesburg.